Combat Insiders here. Joshua Furs, Nick Portello over there on the other side. We just kind of wanted to talk about a few things that's just kind of going on in the MMA slash bare knuckle boxing slash everything world. What do we have on tap today? I guess let's talk about Daly and MVP. Unfortunately, it wasn't the striker clinic that everybody thought it was going to be, which it often happens like that, right? When you have two really good grapplers, it ends up being a stand-up battle. When you have two really good stand-up guys, it ends up going to a grappling match. And that's just sometimes that's what happens because I guess maybe they respect each other's particular skill too much, and they, I don't know. I've never been in that situation, so I can't really comment onto that. But MVP and Paul Daly. Paul Daly was the more experienced wrestler. MVP was supposed to be the better striker, but really it was just kind of a little bit of it really wasn't. I don't want to take away because I know that what they were doing, because there was a lot of clinching, there was a lot of grappling. I know that stuff is tiring, and I don't want to say it like it's easy work, like they weren't doing anything, because they were. It was very complicated, the stuff they were doing. They were playing chess in there. And the takedowns that Paul Daly was getting, they were not easy takedowns. They were very high-level takedowns and trips that Paul Daly was getting on MVP. So, that's not something I think that should be taken away from him. It went to a unanimous decision, MVP. Some people kind of had it one way, some people had the other. I think MVP won. I think Paul Daly I think he clearly won rounds 2 and 3 for me. He was on the way to winning round 5, and then the ending of round 5 kind of switched that around because MVP kind of turned it around, and I think he did enough to get that round back in his favor, and I think that was really what did him in. What are your thoughts on?
I don't know, man. Round 1, I knew it was going to be that kind of fight because it was more of MVP moving forward, but not a lot happened in the round. But I have to give him the round because he was at least, I don't even want to say the one who engaged the most.
Well, he was throwing punches. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but he was throwing.
Right, and then I personally had MVP to win before the fight, but I kind of wanted to see that striking battle because they could both throw. They're both very high level with their boxing.
Yeah.
So while underwhelming, I totally get it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
You have to respect what the other guy is very good at. So, I mean, that kind of unfortunately is what it is. Yeah. But MVP moves on to remain undefeated.
And he's going on to fight Douglas Lima, which I think that's a whole different level of competition for him, facing Douglas Lima. That's a whole nother kind of animal. And a lot of people are really saying that it's going to be a one-way slaughter, being Douglas Lima being the winner on that one.
I'm not with that.
You don't think so?
No, I'm not real sure. I mean, like some people call it a hype train, and some people say, the way he fights is like they basically say he acts like an asshole to get under his opponent's skin. But I don't think he does it for that reason. I think he's very tactical in what he does. I think, how do you train for somebody like him? Who could you spar with that does what he does?
Well, it's the same argument we have with fighting John Jones, right? It's the same kind of argument.
We're going to have that argument in a minute later on.
We are. It's kind of hard to train for somebody like that because they can. He caters his game plan to the person he's fighting. Hence, like we said before with John Jones, he's always going to be a slightly different fighter than he was the fight before, and you really can't. There's not a whole lot that you can game plan for that. And I think Paul Daly was doing the right thing. He was waiting for MVP to be aggressive towards him so he could draw him in. and hit him with the shot. And I think he was doing the right thing. It's just MVP was just so damn good, and MVP stuck. They both had very strategic game plans, and they both implemented them very well in the outgoing. But I think Paul Daly started to get just a little frustrated. You started to see it rounds 2 and 3, which he did win, but you could start to see a little bit more frustration from him as the fight went on. But
could I cut into the weekly show?
Yeah.
Just to tell you about something that just happened that I find funny.
Yeah.
So as people will see in the interview that'll go up before this, Shannon the Cannon just kind of like showed up in the interview.
Out of nowhere, out of left field.
Out of left field, just came in the interview. And it's funny because he had texted me earlier, what time are we doing the interview? And I said, well, let's go ahead and do it 8 o'clock your time.
Yeah.
And he must have saw the message late. And he goes, didn't we just do the interview? I said, bro, you need to look at the timestamps on your messages. Very funny. Yeah. Very funny. It's funnier on my end. Everybody else probably thinks that shit's stupid, but from my end, it's funny.
I tell you what, too, something else. I want to know how Shannon the Cannon just jumped right into our video call.
Didn't even accept it. The video just popped up.
I never accepted a call, and you see it when the video goes up, and I leave it the way it is. So with Travis Thompson, and we were talking to him, and we were supposed to talk to Cannon, and like I said, I guess there was just a little bit of confusion somewhere, a little bit of whatever, but
logistics.
He just popped right in, and we were like, what the hell? Is someone taking over our Skype? Is there someone hacking in there? Is this the Matrix? All of a sudden he just pops in. It's Shannon the Cannon. There he is.
There he is.
But no, it was good, man. It was. It's always exciting to have him on. It's always exciting to have Travis the Animal on. So
they're both great, man. I have a how there's certain fighters you have a soft spot for. Like I'm a Nate Diaz fan, right? No matter what he does,
yeah,
he's always going to be right in my mind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those two guys are kind of Travis. I think the issue is not the issue, but we actually got to hang with him outside all the media and all the bullshit. And it's so cool because he's a regular guy, works a regular job. And as we said in the video, both of them. Bro, when the fight's over, there could be 10,000 fans standing there with markers, and they will sign 10,000 autographs. It's so crazy. So shout out to them. And the rest of the guys that we've ran into on that card, they're all awesome.
You know what? And I'll even tag a little bit onto that was go back and look the interview I did with Stitch. He was kind of talking about that, and he said that he'll never forget. He had oh man, forgive me. I want to say Randall Cunningham, and maybe I get the name wrong, but it was a football player, and he said that he was a big fan of, and the guy had taken he was talking to Stitch and somebody else. This was years ago, and somebody basically tried to come in and take Randall away from the interview, and he's like, hey, hold on, man, I'm doing an interview, give me a few minutes with these guys, I'll get to you when I get to you. And Stitch was like, it made a big impression on me because it kind of made you feel, I guess, I don't know, it kind of made you feel kind of important, that he took the time to do that. And I think a lot of these guys are like that, man. Like a lot of these fighters are they're really cool in that sense. Like they're savages when they need to be, and they turn that switch, right? But I mean, like we've said this 100 times, and it's a broken record, but these guys are the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Shannon the Cannon, Travis Thompson, Sam Shoemaker, the list goes. Tony Lopez. The list goes on and on. These guys are absolute savages in the ring, but they are like the nicest, normal dudes. You go chill, have a beer with, eat something, whatever, and they're just.
We did that.
When we did that, it's the coolest thing. But let's kind of move forward from that. Oh, before we forget.
Oh, and Stitch is like famous, but doesn't realize he's famous.
Yeah, he's cool. He doesn't think that he's like. He's so well. No, he understands, and he thinks he's so grateful for it. Stitch is so down to earth, man.
Coolest bus ride ever.
Yeah, coolest bus ride ever. But, all the bare knuckle guys, all the fighters are just really awesome. But I guess let's jump to the UFC Phoenix card. It's a pretty good card, man. All the way around, it's a solid card. Co-main event with James Vick and Paul Felder. What was the Vicente versus Barberina? Holy shit! A lot of people are calling it like fight of the year. What did it get? The most significant strikes.
Yeah, like 293 or
something like that, and
some crazy number.
God Almighty, what a great fight that was! James Vick and Paul Felder, man, both those guys too. That was a hell of a fight.
Felder's an animal.
Paul Felder,
and you have to like him.
He is. You want to talk about no quit? That guy is one of the definitions of just no quit. I mean, just absolute animal, like you said. The Irish Dragon. Main event, Cain Velasquez and Francis Ngannou. We weren't quite sure what was happening. Still don't really know. We heard Cain says his knee went out. Other people are saying, no, you ate an uppercut and you got wobbly and went down. I don't know. That if you look at the different camera angles, there's an angle where you can kind of see an uppercut, but it's just, I don't know.
I looked at it. I feel like the knee buckled and then he ate the punch.
I think so.
After.
I think it was both.
I had Francis picked to win, but not like that.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to go to war. You know what I mean? And yeah. I hope Cain recovers and can come back and do it again because he's Cain. You know what I mean? Like, people want to see him.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a bloodbath, to be honest with you. I really did. I thought it was going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I guess let's go back to Shannon the Cannon. He broke the news. Well, he's posted about it on his social media, but talking about the April 4th, M1 Global, he's fighting Travis Fulton. Like we were saying, there's like a gazillion matches, fights between the two of them. I
think the number is 653 between the two of them.
I think 10,000 probably sounds closer, but we'll go with 653. We'll go with
fair enough. Okay.
But it's going to be on Fight Pass, man. I think it really is a super fight, and I think everybody should be excited about it, and I know we're excited about it. I know Shannon's excited about it. This is something that he's wanted for a long time. These two guys, they have paved the way for so many, and I think that with the amount of fights and the amount of experience they have between them, it's almost mind-blowing when you hear the amount of fights these two have had. It's almost like, no, that's not right. That's a typo. There's no way. He doesn't have 200 and some fights. He doesn't have 300. That's not right. And you go back and you can find, most of the footage for it, and it's
sure can.
Kickboxing, MMA, boxing, bare knuckle boxing. Everything across the board, the entire combat sports spectrum, you name it, these guys have done it.
And he kind of broke our little news.
Oh yeah,
our little bit of news. He threw it out there early, but that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. We're excited to go. We're excited. We'll be in Arizona, Yuma.
That's right. We're gonna be
covering M1.
Yep, covering the show and hopefully doing some stuff. What do you say? Using our footage for like HBO stuff like that.
HBO.
We'll see. Hopefully that stuff. Hopefully it pans out. I'm excited about it. We'll try to do the best we can. We always put our best foot forward. That's usually not an issue with us. So this is a constant grind for us. But this is our thing. This is what we do. So we're excited, man. We're excited to be taking steps, and sometimes you have to kind of follow the waves, right? We say that a lot. We kind of have to follow the waves. We think we're going to be over here. This is the map laid out, but we end up going over here. We think we're supposed to be going this way. Well, we end up going this way, and it's just
Josh follows the waves. I'm very sporadic, spur of the moment decisions. Josh reels me back in a little bit.
Sometimes a little bit, just a little bit.
A lot of bit. But that's okay. But before we pass over all the talking about bare knuckle, so as people know, the New Hampshire card
Mm.
has been canceled, but not canceled. It's being relocated to a later date.
Mm.
And now the April 6th card will be in Biloxi, Mississippi. So there will be no April 20th card as of now. And that card is kind of legit.
The main event is
the GOAT.
the GOAT.
Artem Lobov.
Artem Lobov, choo-choo versus Jason Knight. These two guys, man, I tell you what,
They both said they're knocking each other's heads off.
Yeah, they're both going to knock each other's heads off, and I believe they both will try. I believe it 100%. Both these guys are UFC veterans, and the whole bare knuckle thing just adds. Wow, it's very palpable. It's going to be something cool. I think it's going to be really cool. It's a really cool fight. I'm anxious to see what they both do in there because it is different, right? It's different than even though it's the smaller gloves, the 4-ounce gloves in the UFC, but it's none of that. It's none of that protection. So you lose that, and it's a whole different ball game. But I think both those guys are going to do just fine. So
and that's Britton Hart, Christine Fierra.
Oh yeah,
belt on the line.
Oh yeah,
and obviously nothing's ever in stone, but I would venture to guess whoever wins that fight will be the next in line for Rowdy Beck.
Yep.
Makes sense. I saw Chase Sherman listed.
Yep.
I saw our buddy Marcel Stamps. Got to find out who he's fighting though, but he's on the card.
Yep.
It's pretty exciting stuff, man. Every day you got to really follow their social media because we couldn't put it out as fast as they have shit happen.
Yeah.
Like they, one day you turn around and we're like, oh, Rumble Johnson's here. You know what I mean? Like at an event, and then they're signing this one. Chris Lieben is signed. Chris was really good when we had him on last time.
The semifinals to the tournament, right? Semifinals to the tournament.
Reggie Barnett and Rusty Crowder, Abby Velasquez, Johnny Bedford.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I know a lot of people say there's a front runner for the tournament, and I get it, but I don't know. Them fights right there, I feel like it's going to be something to see. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, there'll be no way for us to get to Biloxi because we'll be just touching back down from Arizona. But
it'll be close.
It would be possible, but it would be difficult. But also worth it.
Yeah.
After what we witnessed in Mexico, difficult's okay. But either way, we'll watch it. We'll watch it. So that'll be nice. But I want to move into my unpopular opinion about John Jones and Anthony Smith.
UFC 235, yes sir.
Yes. This is my unpopular opinion. Anthony Smith will win this fight.
I don't think it's that unpopular, man. I really don't. I don't know. I mean, like you said, we have talked about this so many times. It's almost a broken record at this point. I think Anthony Smith is the savage. He doesn't have the prettiest fights. Anthony Smith isn't like the best athlete at this or that. He's not the best this or that. But he's a savage. He's a savage in there, and they call him Lionheart for a reason. And I think that, and it's not a knock on him. So Anthony, if you're seeing this, first off, Anthony, contact us. We want you on. Secondly, it's not a knock on you at all, man. Like you present something special that you can't really train for, right? To have that kind of heart and the sheer willpower. That's just, you can't train for that. You can't. You could spend hours in the gym, but that's not gonna affect that. And I think that's the type of guy that needs to fight John Jones. And I think you're the guy that's going to beat John Jones.
He's the first time. He will be the first time I've ever picked against John Jones.
That's saying something, man.
And I feel like I'm pretty good at picking.
Yeah.
I get lucky from time and again. But yeah, lots of stuff coming up. UFC, M1 Global, bare knuckle boxing. On the regional side, Art of War just had back-to-back fights over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, which was insane. I didn't go, but I was paying attention to it for sure. why people were covering it. It was great.
Yeah.
What else do we have coming up? There's a lot of shows that I kind of want to put out real quick that are coming up, so people kind of have an idea. And I'm sure I don't have it, but I know there's a Maverick MMA show coming up. There is Mavericks March 8th. April 4th is M1. April 6th is Bare Knuckle. There is something on March 9th. March 9th is Primal Fight Promotions. Regional amateur show.
Oh, real quick, too, just shout out to CFFC. They just had a awesome card. I watched it on Fight Pass, CFFC 72 at the Hard Rock. It was a really good card, man. I wish I could have been there live. So hopefully we'll want to work it out eventually where we can get there and actually cover the show physically, be there. It's just a matter of scheduling and stuff like that. But shout out to those guys, man. And Rob Haydock. It was an awesome card, awesome show. So
let's step back. When's the last time you saw a show that wasn't good?
I mean, that's true. I mean, he's always put on great cards, and they keep getting better and better and better. And I think the addition with CM Punk on the commentary and all that stuff, man, I really think he adds an element that nobody else has. He just kind of adds that specific element.
He's really good at it too.
He's really
funny.
Good. He is.
He's
good.
funny.
But
what else?
I guess let's wrap it up.
There's so much we can't even say it all.
We can't even say it all. But look, guys, we don't want to take up too much of your time, but please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. No, let me repeat that again. Hey, guys, we don't want to take up too much of your time, but please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down there at the kind of at the bottom, and then at the end of the video, stay tuned. There's going to be a subscribe link at the very end. It's going to be kind of like on the right side, like way over there. So please click on that. It supports us. Check out our social media, all that stuff. You guys know the deal. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And now we're on Reddit too. So go to reddit.com/Combat Insiders. We are on there now. So come by, say hello. We will respond.
Yeah.
So that's all we got for you. For Nick Patella, for Josh Furs, we're Combat Insiders, and we're out.